welcome to the final set of the FNF Victory Road Draft League Season 3 playoffs. This is going to, of the winners quarterfinals of the playoffs. It's not the final set of playoffs. This is going to be between Benji and the Southern Shuckles and F-Witch and Alakazamelot. So in this match, we have Mega Alakazam on Alakazamelot, and then we also have Z-Attack Raichu, Z-Attack Druddigon, respectively. And taking a look at this, both these teams, I think, are bringing exactly the same team that they had last time around in terms of the Pokemon composition. There might be differences. Actually, I think Donphan's new as well. So that might be the only change. But it was a pretty close battle, and it was really interesting. So I'm curious to see how this one goes. I do think that Mega Alakazam could have some fun taunting Vaporeon, especially with Water Absorb as its ability, which makes it essentially immune to Vaporeon. And Kyurem definitely going to be the toughest Pokemon for this team to face, especially being pretty weak to Ice and Earth Power covering Magnezone, for example. So this is going to be an interesting battle for sure. I think that Benji's going to be playing a little bit more defensively and F-Witch a little bit more offensively like last time. And it was a pretty close match last time, so we're going to see how this one goes, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So without any further ado, let's begin. This is battle number 1. So we have Gammoth the Donphan versus Dusknoir the Dusknoir. We see the Frisked Assault Vest, and there's a substitute going up for Dusknoir. Gammoth going for the knockoff. Dusknoir at 82%, but that knockoff will hit pretty hard. So face off, the Lurantis comes in instead, and that knockoff removes leftovers. So there's a Poison Jab from Gammoth, who's actually faster than Face Off, surprisingly. And the Leaf Storm is going to do 89% to Gammoth. That Assault Vest protecting it, though. Druddigon comes in and takes that Poison Jab. It's going to do 22, and also Poison Druddigon. Quite unfortunate for Druddigon. The Ice Shard also brings it down a little bit to 44% as Druddigon takes out Gammoth with the Earthquake. The score is now 5-6. And Druddigon down to 32%. In comes Yamasumaki, the Tangrowth. And Magpie-Zone, the Magnezone, comes in. The Leech Seed is going to miss, however. And there's a Volt Switch from Magnezone, dealing a little damage and allowing the pivot into Alakazam. And that knockoff hits pretty hard on Alakazam. Yamasumaki at 79% now in Alakazam. Mizutsune comes in to meet Alakazam, and Alakazam goes for the Mega Evolution. And the Psychic not going to do that much. Magpie-Zone switches in, and the Toxic not affecting Magpie-Zone either. The Thunderbolt doing big damage, 57% to Mizutsune, who goes for the Scald. Benji is pretty infamous for keeping Vaporeon in against electric types because Vaporeon is just so bulky that I could take any electric hit pretty easily on the special side. I think he runs specially defensive Vaporeon mostly, but it's pretty crazy to see Vaporeon just shrugging off a Thunderbolt from Magnezone. So there's a Thunderbolt on Astalos. Does 40%, and Astalos goes for the Hidden Power. That's going to take out Magpie-Zone. I'm assuming that's a Hidden Power ground. In comes Alakazam. And the Psychic takes out Astalos. The score is 4-5. In comes Rajang the Raichu Alola. And Violet the Nidoking is going to switch in, predicting that Thunderbolt. Psychic hits Violet pretty hard, down to 33%, as Violet retaliates with the Earth Power, which is going to take out Rajang. Score is now 3-5. The threat of Kyurem looms on the horizon. Actually, Ukanlos comes in now, the Kyurem, and it's Dusknoir who's going to come in to face Ukanlos. The Ice Beam does decent damage. Dusknoir now at 50%. The Substitute is now up for Ukanlos. The Will-O-Wisp is going to fail as a result. Dusknoir now at 56%. And there's the Ice Beam bringing Dusknoir down to 17%. Dusknoir is unable to make a substitute of its own. And that final Ice Beam takes down Dusk Noir. Score is 3-4. Uconlos behind a substitute, looking very, very threatening to the rest of this team, especially because it's been weakened already. The Earth Power takes out Violet, and the score now becomes 3-3. In comes Drudiconch, and the Ice Beam is going to take it down as well. Uconlos now at 100% from that leftovers recovery. Alakazam comes in, tracing the pressure. The pressure is incredibly on. The Dazzling Gleam is going to destroy that substitute, but Uconlos now has the power to retaliate. It does with an Ice Beam, taking down Alakazam, and the last Pokemon standing is Lurantis. It is weak to Ice Beam, however, and indeed the Ice Beam is enough to take it down, and that is a 3-0 victory for Benji and the Southern Shuckles over F-Witch and Alakazamelot. Kyurem definitely showcasing how strong of an offensive threat it is, even having some defensive utility with that substitute ability as well. So I think that F-Witch definitely has to construct a little bit more around Kyurem for the next match, and we're probably going to be seeing more anti-Kyurem tactics coming from them with this next one. I'm again surprised that Benji didn't bring Moltres, but it looks like Kyurem is his premier offensive threat, so I'm definitely sure we're going to see it again next time. So we're going to go into this second battle now, and let's jump right in. So this is the second battle between Benji and F-Witch. No changes in terms of Pokemon on Benji's team, and F-Witch has taken out 2 Pokemon. It looks like Druddigon has been replaced with Primarina, and we also have Hitmontop joining, replacing Dusknoir. These 2 Pokemon definitely more poised to take on Kyurem, although it can be a little risky because Raichu Alola does pretty well versus both of them. And Raichu Alola is pretty tough. Nidoking did counter Raichu Alola pretty well in the last match, so that's something to consider as well. Raichu Alola definitely gonna want to take advantage of that Surge Surfer ability in the electric terrain, otherwise Mega Alakazam can be a huge threat. So I'm wondering how we're going to see Kyurem being tackled by this team, and let's begin. So in comes Astalos, the Tapu Koko, as the lead. We also see face off the Lurantis. And the Volt Switch does a little bit of damage, 25% on face off, as Yamasumaki, the Tangrowth, comes in. There's a Leaf Storm, it's going to do 33%, even resisted. Face off definitely able to build some momentum there. So there's the substitute. The substitute is broken by the knockoff coming from Yamasumaki. Yamasumaki now at 79%. Leaf Storm bringing it down to 18%. And at this point, nothing really wants to switch into the Leaf Storm, so I think we will see Yamasumaki go down to a Leaf Storm. Indeed, the Leaf Storm takes down Yamasumaki, and the score is 5-6, with Face Off having quite a considerable amount of boosts. However, it is very slow, so Raichu Alola may be able to take it out. In comes Magpie Zone, and the Psychic destroys... does not destroy Magnezone. It only dents Magnezone a little bit, 78%. The Hidden Power, however, will take out Magnezone. Hidden Power Ground on Raichu Alola. Benji definitely bringing Hidden Power Ground in a lot of his Electric-type Pokemon when facing the Magnets. So Alakazam comes in versus Mizutsune, tracing that Water Absorb. And the Psychic is going to do 36% to Mizutsune, now at 70%. There's a Taunt coming from Alakazam. And no Wish after that taunt. So Mizutsune probably not going to want to stick around, as Alakazam is essentially immune. Astalos, the Tapu Koko, comes back in, and Alakazam goes for that Psychic. That's going to bring Astalos down to 34%. Another Psychic takes out Astalos, and the score is now 4-5. In comes Raichu Alola. Big threat in that electric terrain, and that Thunderbolt brings Alakazam down to a whopping 16%. The Psychic is only going to do 35% to Rajang, but it will lower its special defense. In comes Violet, the Nidoking, and that Thunderbolt is not going to affect it. There's a Psychic bringing Violet down to 37% as Violet retaliates with the Earth Power, taking down Rajang. The score is now 3-5. We saw this exchange in the last match, actually, Violet taking down Raichu. And there's Kyurem to face Violet. In comes Lily the Hitmontop. And once again, Kyurem going for that substitute ability. Ukanlos pretty comfortable behind that substitute. The Mach Punch is going to remove the substitute, and there's the Ice Beam coming from Ukanlos. Lily at 68%. It can take another Ice Beam quite comfortably. So in comes Gameth the Donphan. And that close combat brings Gameth down to 65%. And we see Primarina switching in now. The Earthquake is going to bring Primarina to 52%. This could be a gateway for Vaporeon to come in. Yeah, Mizutsune does come in, and Primarina goes for the Hyper Voice, but that Water Absorb is going to prevent it from doing any damage to Mizutsune. Primarina at 65%, so Face Off the Lurantis comes in now. And there's the Toxic on Face Off. And a Wish goes up. Mizutsune ready to heal some HP. Face Off going for the Aromatherapy. That Scald is only going to do 16% as Face Off goes for the Leaf Storm. That hits pretty hard, 59% on Mizutsune, but that Wish is going to restore it back to 91. With the leftovers, it will be able to restore to 97%. And a final Scald takes down Face Off. Mizutsune now at 100% as Alakazam comes in, tracing that Water Absorb. And there's a taunt coming from Alakazam. Mizutsune cannot attack with Toxic after that taunt, so Donphan switches in instead. And Alakazam goes for the Recover. It's at 66% now. And the Focus Blast misses Donphan at 65%. The Earthquake takes down Alakazam. And in comes Primarina at 65%. Vaporeon switches in at 100. Primarina goes for that Energy Ball. That's going to do 38 to Mizutsune, but Mizutsune does have the ability to go for some Wishes and Toxics right now. Indeed, there's that Wish going up for Mizutsune. The Moonblast is going to hit, doing 30%. Mizutsune now at 45%. Primarina at 77%. And there's that Toxic on Primarina. Primarina goes for a substitute, but it is a little bit too late here because it wanted to substitute before that Toxic, and now the Toxic is going to slowly drain it. Mizutsune at 100% now, spamming those Wishes so that it could stay alive. Mizutsune is going to be very hard to take down at this point because of that Toxic on Primarina. Primarina now at 46%. The Scald is not going to break the substitute. Those Energy Balls are dealing some damage to Mizutsune, but with those Wishes coming in, Mizutsune is sitting pretty comfortably versus Primarina, who's taking considerable Toxic damage. More Wishes going up, and Energy Ball brings Mizutsune down to about half. One more round of Toxic damage will take out Primarina, and Mizutsune goes for the Protect to ensure that it gets that Wish and restores to 100%. The Energy Ball does not connect, and Mizutsune gets that Wish while Primarina dies to the Toxic damage. Score is now 3-2. And in comes Violet the Nidoking. The Thunderbolt brings Mizutsune down to 65% as Mizutsune goes for that Wish yet again. Sludge Wave doing 28% to Mizutsune as it goes for the Scald, taking out Violet. Mizutsune now at 93%, 99% after the leftovers, and Hitmontop comes in, Lily. Close combat does big damage, 65% to Mizutsune, who's now at 34%, but the Toxic is going to ensure that Lily cannot live too long. There's a Protect coming from Mizutsune. Lily goes for the Mach Punch, but it does not hit. And Lily taking some considerable Toxic damage as Donphan switches in. There's Gameth at 65%. The Mach Punch only going to do 13% to Gameth as Lily takes a little more Toxic damage. Gameth goes for the Ice Shard, bringing Lily within range of the Toxic damage. Earthquake only going to do 19% to Gameth, and Lily is taken down by that Toxic. So that is the match. It's a 3-0 victory for Benji and the Southern Shuckles over F-Witch and Alakazamelot. Really well played match. Really interesting to see how the changes affected the battle, although a lot of the things that happened were the same, like Nidoking versus Raichu, Alakazam versus Vaporeon, things like that. But really nice set overall. Very interesting to see how these trainers have improved since day one, and Benji is going to advance on to winners semifinals with a 3-0 victory in this match and a 2-0 set score. F which goes to losers round 1, where they will face, I believe, I'm not sure who they face, but we'll see how the rest of the bracket goes. And this is the end of winners quarterfinals, so thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, this is Noel, and I'll see you then.